generation, the innovative generation, the innovative generation, the innovative generation.
Hello and welcome to the Innovative Generation. Today we will discuss a topic that can sometimes be a bit controversial. The topic is rap music. What is rap? Now, rap music can be defined simply as poetry or any content that is set to music. Educators have debated whether or not rap should be utilized in an educational setting. Today, we will discuss how rap is being used to enhance education and how rap and other forms of music are brain-based strategies that enhance learning. Now, let's talk a little bit about the historical significance of teaching through music. Since the dawn of time, music has been an integral part of teaching. Important events in all civilizations were passed on through chants or raps and songs. Historical events, rites of passage, political statements, and even religious celebrations have all been passed down through time and through music. Now, some great examples are the African griots. They were historians who sang about important historical events, folklore, and the lineage of prominent families even before recorded history. Brahmin priests of India used rhythm and music to memorize volumes of Vedic texts. The Iliad and Odyssey of Homer were poems, raps really, often recited out loud to background rhythm and music. Now, according to the National Dropout Prevention Center, 15% of people learn traditionally. The other 85% learn differently. Music is one of the 9 multiple intelligences that have been proven to be effective in teaching and in learning. Music boosts retention and gives us a positive state of mind. Music has been used through all times. Music and learning are tied together physiologically. The limbic system of the human brain contains equipment involved in processing music. That same limbic system contains equipment that is essential for long-term memory. Isn't the brain amazing? Next, we are going to have some cool kids to come your way and show you how rap, music, and learning all come together. New Innovations presents Cool Kids. Cool Kids says hello to you. We're gonna do what no one else dares to do. We make learning fun
That you will see
The best 5 minutes.
on TV. Cool Kids. Cool Kids. Cool Kids. Cool Kids.
Hey, Allie.
Hey, what's wrong?
Well, I've been trying to figure out how to recognize the different types of rocks for this exam I have.
I have an easy way to show you. Well, I just read it right here, that a rock is a mixture of minerals, mineraloids, glass, or organic matter.
That's right, a rock's a mixture.
You're right. Well, there are 3 types of rocks: igneous, metamorphic, and sedimentary rocks. Igneous rocks are rocks that come from a volcano or deep inside the earth. Metamorphic rocks are rocks that have changed because of temperature and pressure. And sedimentary rocks are rocks that are formed when sediments become pressed together.
Okay, that's not so hard to understand.
Now let's do it Cool Kid style.
All right.
The rock song. A rock is a mixture of minerals, mineraloids, glass, or organic matter. There are 3 types of rocks, 3 types of rocks, 3 types of rocks, 3 types. Let's rock. Igneous rocks, rocks that come from a volcano or deep inside the earth. Metamorphic rocks, rocks that have changed because of temperature and pressure. Sedimentary rocks, rocks that form when sediments become pressed together. There are 3 types of rocks, 3 types of rocks, 3 types of rocks, 3 types. Let's rock. Igneous rocks, metamorphic rocks, sedimentary rocks, 3 types of rocks.
igneous rocks, metamorphic rocks, sedimentary rocks, 3 types of rocks.
Igneous rocks are rocks that are formed from a volcano or deep inside the earth.
Metamorphic rocks are rocks that have changed because of temperature and pressure.
Sedimentary rocks are rocks that are formed when sediments become pressed together.
Now I get it. There are 3 types of rocks: igneous, metamorphic, and sedimentary.
Now you got it.
Cool Kid says goodbye to you. We did what no one else dared to do. We made learning fun.
That you did see. The best 5 minutes.
On TV, Cool Kids. Cool Kids. Cool Kids. Cool Kids. Because motivation times confidence equals what? Success. Success. So I may look and I'll say, what is a tessellation? You have to I want to answer. I'll answer the questions. I'll answer the questions that I'm throwing out. But I wanted to do it at for different levels and different subject areas so that you can see that it works for everyone. How many different types of rocks? And maybe you would say, name the 3 types of rocks. Sedimentary, what was it? Igneous. And I tell the difference between something that is actually going on and something that is vividly imagined. Now with the MRIs in the 1990s, brain researchers were actually able to see how the brain worked and actually see the movement of the blood in the education process. So what they saw is that, gee, if I take my students to Egypt, they're going to learn about Egypt and their brains are working in a certain manner. But let's say I can't take every student to Egypt. If I have a sensory experience in my classroom, where they actually feel and hear and see all those things that they would see in Egypt or in their minds, then their brains are working in the same way. So we may not be able to take our students to Egypt or wherever else, but we can bring it to them. We can bring them experiences.
Sunlight and nutrients. Watch it. What does the health plant need? What does the health world need?
All right.
That's very good. Water.
Learn this. So they need to know, why am I learning this? Why is this important? How is it going to benefit me? They have to be motivated. You can also motivate them by some things that we're going to do today, through music, through dance, through movements, through acting things out. Those are all huge motivators for students, and it does not matter the age, because I get just as many smiles from adult teachers as I do from
And I
children.
think that this is very appropriate for African Americans, because we need some teachers in the classroom that says, listen, the approach that we're using is not working. It's just not working. I write curriculum and I write it from this approach because I have all African American students. And the mainstream analytical type curriculum does not work for us on a large scale. I particularly have a doctorate in education. So I've studied Black students, I've studied Hispanic students because that's the population of my clientele. And this approach is excellent. We have to go back to the brain. Blacks, whites, Hispanics, Indians, we all have the same brain. Unfortunately, we process things differently. But as African Americans, we need to see what works from a brain-based approach and teach our children that way. And so instead of giving them an analytical one-way approach, we've been using this forever. It's not working.
It doesn't work.
It's not working.
And our test scores show that it doesn't work.
The test scores show it doesn't work. And many of these Black authors have told us, listen, Black kids are relational type learners. We need something that's not analytical. And this approach is not analytical. You specifically told us to take things out and use the kinesthetic, auditory, and visual and incorporate our own thing, quote unquote. Wonderful.
How did you like the presentation?
I loved it. It was excellent. It hit on all the relevant points, I think, that help empower teachers, which is what we're all about.
Okay.
Very interesting and very helpful.
Very helpful. Okay.
Yes, and I love the fact that we can actually incorporate the music
Yes.
with your curriculum and into learning.
Mineral boys, glass, or organic matter. There are three types of rocks. Three types of rocks. Three types of rocks. Three types of rocks. Sedimentary rocks. Rocks that form when sediments become pressed together. There are three types of rocks. Three types of rocks. Three types of rocks. Three types of rocks. Igneous rocks. Metamorphic rocks. Sedimentary rocks. Three types of rocks. Igneous rocks. Metamorphic rocks. Sedimentary rocks. Three types.
This man are paralyzed, cause on the side by side, this means worldwide. Maybe it's centimeters, that's why centimeters figures. We don't look ridiculous. Hey, if you get our cracks in, that's how it's slapped in. We better put the trash in. Hey, a lot of niggas want you to lock you. Make them all draw you. Hey, everybody is blazing. So people are orderlies. And natural receptivity, history, it made me hungry.
The base of the first one is 6, and the base of the second one is 5. All together, the area is 11 feet. Can you not chop that, please? This means if it's 2,000.
The last one is congruent. Same shape. Same size. Right. We're going to talk about the volume. Length times width times height. Next thing is the perimeter. The distance. I said the distance measured around a figure.
Opposites and synonyms are the same. You say it. Antonyms are opposites and synonyms are the same. Homonyms sound alike, but they're different, Homonyms sound alike, but they're different, Antonyms are opposites and synonyms are the same. Antonyms are opposites and synonyms are the same. Homonyms sound alike, but they're different, Homonyms sound alike, but they're different, Antonyms hot and cold. Synonyms cold and freezing. Homonyms bare and bare. Homonyms bare and bare. Short story. Short story. Short story. Short story. What that mean?
present you today my class, Mr. Brooks's class. We're a 5th grade class here at Lincoln Elementary in a joint venture with New Innovations as we present to you science. We can't think of nothing else. Thank you.
Step team, and we're going to show you how to get down.
I'm always early for science and never late.
Go science, go science, go science, go science.
Reactivity, the ability of a sun to react chemically.
Go science, go science, go science, go science.
Next year, blending 2 kinds of matches. I got a beautiful cake on my gold splats.
Go science, go science, go science, go science.
Solubility, the ability of one substance to be absorbed from another, my brother.
Go science, go science, go science, go science.
Element of substance, metal, one kind of atom that's so important and we're glad I'm having.
Go science, go science, go science, go science.
Physical change, something can change it to something else. Science, I can't think of nothing else.
Science, I can't think of nothing else. Science, I can't think of nothing else. Quarter past, half past, quarter 2. 3, 6, 9. Quarter past, half past, quarter 2. 15, 30, 45. Quarter past, half past, quarter 2. 15, 30, 45. Quarter past, half past, quarter 2. 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 Temperature is measured in degrees. Temperature, temperature, it changes like the breeze. Fahrenheit and Celsius are units that we use. Fahrenheit and Celsius are units that we use. When it's at the freezing point, when it's at the freezing point, it's 32 degrees Fahrenheit or 0 degrees Celsius. When it's at the boiling point, when it's at the boiling point, it's 212 degrees Fahrenheit. Fahrenheit or 100 degrees Celsius. Celsius. And man, that's hot. And man, that's hot. And man, that's hot. And man, that's hot.
When you know the seagull is over here. Raise your hand if you know what type of animal this is. What type of animal is this? New Innovations Arts Integration Sensory Lab here at Lincoln Elementary School. We want to start you in the corner and let you see the hammerhead sharks with the sunken bill. As we move around the room, you can see different stories that are going on with the animals, like the glowfish looking into the face of the dolphin, wondering what his fate will be. Or the pelican that swoops down from the air and grabs fish out of the water. All of these things, all of the motivating type of environments help to make up the New Innovations Sensory Laboratory. We go around, you see hundreds of minnows swimming, and group where you can actually touch the fish and feel, which will address the tactile, kinesthetic type of learner.
That's like comparing apples and oranges. So, starting next year, the state will compare the same children from year to year.
No two people are the same, and no two students usually come in on the same level. So if you individualize scores and you compare last year to this year, then that's truly showing what's been done and what the child has learned.
Students in grades 3 through 10 will begin taking the FCAT next month. Results of the test determine the grading system for schools, and that grade will eventually be tied to principal and teachers' salaries.
To music, you know, so.
Music stimulates both sides of our brains.
Right.
So right away you talk about your left brain people, your right brain people. I always tell teachers, unless you are accommodating your auditory, visual, and kinesthetic learners, you're not really teaching your entire classroom.
Okay.
Only approximately 15% of the students are auditory learners. So when we're lecturing, we're gearing it toward auditory learners.
Okay.
So when we involve the other learning modalities and the senses, then we are getting into the other 85% of the learners, which are kinesthetic and visual.
Okay.
So what I've done is, in the curriculum, I make sure that all three modalities are addressed.
Okay, hold on, wait a minute. I want you to repeat.
Okay, in your average classroom,
Mhm.
you may have just about 15% of those students, the teacher can say whatever they're teaching, and they get it right away.
Okay.
The other students say, well, I didn't get that.
Okay.
I can't see that. I don't feel it.
Right.
And then you're getting into your other types of learners. So if you look at it, 15% is a very small percentage.
Okay.
So we have to really make sure as educators that we are addressing our other learners. So if we approach a lesson, we need to approach it in 3 ways. It's very easy to do.
Okay.
Let's say you're teaching area.
Okay.
Okay, the area of a rectangle.
Okay.
Maybe the teacher goes to the board and in the traditional way will explain and say this is the area of the rectangle, and this is the formula, and this is how we find the area. And then maybe she will bring out manipulatives where they can actually touch and feel and measure to get our kinesthetic people in there so they can actually do it.
Okay, so this is for the people that she can go, how, you know, they go and write on the board, draw on the board.
Right.
That's for the people that can hear it and.
As the line goes on and on. As the line goes on and on. And the line goes on.
Principals and teachers participated at the Caribbean American Educational Conference at the St. George's University today, focusing on the theme, A Meeting of the Minds, Caribbean and American Educators Unite. The conference will determine what Caribbean and American educators can do to improve relationship and communication with the academic community and to implement teaching studies from a positive self-image and become academically successful. Mrs. Audra Mark is CEO and educational consultant and trainer of New Innovations, Florida.
I have so many Caribbean students that are coming in, Florida, New York. I work with several school districts all around the United States. And we did not see them being serviced properly. We saw them being misplaced, being put in, some of our students are being put in classrooms where they shouldn't be put. And we said, you know what, there's too much separatism going on. We need to bring our Caribbean and American educators together. Because there are several people like me who are from, you know, we have West Indian descent. My family's from the Bahama Islands, but I was born and raised in America. So it's just, we saw all these little pockets, and we said the only way we're going to make any progress and help our students is to come together, and that was the whole idea of coming to St. George's University.
Mark says the programs created by New Innovations have proven to be successful, and teachers and administrators have raved about the increased standardized test scores of their students.
We have principals, we have teachers, we have people from the ministry here in Grenada, and we want to do staff development. We would like to share some of the things that we know and share some of our ideas, and we want to learn from you. Grenada has a very high literacy rate here in the Southern Caribbean, and we see your students coming in, for example, they're excellent with geography. They know the geography. Our American students have a long way to go with that. So we want to learn from you. What do you do that we're not doing, and what do we do that you're not doing, so we can come together and help our students?
Teaching your own child over the holidays, here are some guidelines you should take note of. The child may be the questioner, the visualizer, the mover, the music lover, the individual, the socializer, and the nature lover. Trisha Ruben.
Hello everybody,
GBN
welcome.
News.
This is another GIS presentation. I'm Alan Campbell. Today we're talking with Audra Wells Mark. She's the CEO of New Innovations out of Florida. You would remember we spoke with her a few weeks ago regarding the second annual Caribbean American Educational Conference. It was held at the St. George's University from the 12th to the 14th of July. Ms. Mark, welcome. How was the conference?
It was absolutely fabulous. I was really blown away by the outpouring of love from your educators here on the island.
Facilitated the sessions. Audra owns a staff development company in South Florida. She also teachers and principals staff development skills and other areas of staff development.
This is the first parish I'm working with is St. George's, and as you see, it's a very large group. It must be, I guess, 400 people here, but they have been so cooperative. They've been so nice, and I really appreciate, you know, the teachers here. The people are always so kind. This is our third year here in Grenada. We started out at St. George's University, and I'm working with Sandra Olas there. And then we wanted to expand the program and go to all the different parishes. And your Minister of Education, Minister Charles, has been wonderful. And she invited us to come down and to do some training. And it's just been a positive experience all the way around.
The teachers were also exposed to topics such as motivation, students' welfare, science, protocol, technology, and students' assessment, among others. Keishan Thomas, GBN News.
We are going to do topic biology, the subtopic soil decomposition, all right, to grade 5 and to grade 5 to 7 students, okay? To decompose is to break down big particles into smaller ones by the help of organisms. So when the ants go marching in, oh when the ants go marching in, oh how they love to eat as they mix soil particles. Let me go. Oh when the worms go wiggling in, oh when the worms go wiggling in, oh how they love to secrete certain enzymes that break down leaves and certain twigs.
Rocks that come from a volcano or deep inside the earth. Metamorphic rocks, rocks that have changed because of temperature and pressure. Sedimentary rocks, rocks that form when sediments become pressed together. There are 3 types of rocks. 3 types of rocks. 3 types of rocks. 3 types. Let's rock. Igneous rocks, metamorphic rocks, sedimentary rocks. 3 types of rocks. Igneous rocks, metamorphic rocks, sedimentary rocks. 3 types of rocks. All right. Verb is an action, real action. It's everything that you do. Singing, running, playing, dancing, they can be done by me and you. Verbs are action, real action. It's everything that you do. Singing, running, playing, dancing, they can be done by me and you. Let's go, verb. It is right. They make everything come alive. Tall, short, fat or thin, they all describe you and me. Antics, they describe.
Gina Phillip.
And your grade?
I teach grade 1 at the J.W. Fletcher Memorial Arts School.
Okay, so how was the presentation?
I think the presentations were excellent. The presenter did a fantastic job. And I learned a lot. But I got them into more in-depth. I got a lot of examples. And I intend to use them in my classroom. Seeing that I teach grade 1s and you have to do a lot of activities with them in order for them to retain information. So I intend to use a lot of them, if not all of them, if I could, in my classroom for the upcoming school year and beyond.
Very good, excellent. And do you think that is a program you'd like to see ongoing here in Grenada?
Oh yes, we need it.
Speaking with?
Tisha Noel.
And your grade?
Well, I teach grade 3 at the Police Government School.
Okay, and how was the presentation?
Well, the presentation was very informative. I learned a lot. I would say she did a terrific job, the way she expressed herself. I sat there and sometimes I came from home very tired. And she was alive. She was energetic. So she kept me alert most of the time. And I was able to grasp a lot of information. And hopefully come September, I'll definitely use those information that I got in my class.
Educators, so that we can be more effective in our classroom environment. We assure you that the 2 days of intellectual teaching was resourceful, creative, stimulating, innovative, and edifying. You have truly inspired us to have deposited catalysts that will initiate enthusiasm, stroking the engine of success in ourselves, our students, and our schools, ultimately our nation. May God bless you. May He strengthen you and keep you. May He cause His face to shine upon you as you continue to produce keys that will open new doors to the mysteries of education. Once again, we express thanks.